All right, so getting back to it, so that's pretty much for the most part addressing the oldest brother. The second oldest brother, so like I say, with the first oldest brother wife, me and her ain't got no problems. I mean, she can tell me if we have a problem, but as far as I know, we don't have a problem. Me and her, she good in my book. And I've been trying. I gave a few scenarios how I was trying to help y'all, but you helped me. I was gonna try. I try to help y'all. So back to my second oldest brother. So that, we had that fallout when I called him out on his lie about what they were gonna do with mom money, none of the money she was getting, and it was gonna put it on another property. So after that happened, I dropped that message in that message in the group chat to all four. I mean the two oldest and my mom. So I dropped that message in the group chat, and then so the second oldest, he was like, I'm gonna have to post those screenshots too. But basically, I dropped that in there because, like I said, I wasn't used to talking about that kind of stuff anyway, the sexual assault and all that stuff. So I dropped that in there, and something happened. Well, basically, I was asleep. You'll see the timestamps on there with these as well. But I guess he reached out to me after I submitted it, sent that. I guess he reached out to me when I was asleep. And so I guess he gave me a call. I didn't pick up because I was asleep. And then the next morning, like 7 in the morning my time, we're on a 2 hour. He's 2 hours ahead of me, so it's almost 7 o'clock in the morning my time. He basically like talking shit, pretty much. He's like all this. Oh, just because you won't get her house back, you just saying stuff, you just making up stuff or whatever like that. He's saying, he just kind of like, he's like, you won't just versus us just getting on the phone and talking about it. Now, mind you called me late, or whatever time you called me when I was asleep, and then you're not giving. He's just talking shit, not giving me a chance to actually respond. It ain't like it been days or weeks. It ain't been 12 hours. Like, mind you, it's nighttime. So he's like, then he's another message he sent saying, what are you talking about? You being paranoid and you just making up stuff like your brother. He said you just like your, pretty much saying you just like your brother. Just like the other one is saying. They both saying I'm just like my the third oldest. Because me and the third oldest got the same mother and father. The rest of, but this, my mom has 3 different baby daddies. But the 2 youngest, me and my brother, we got the same dad. So they basically saying, yeah, you just like your brother, you just paranoid, you just making up stuff. And I took it as a direct insult, because mind you, this is my favorite brother telling me that I'm making up stuff when I'm addressing the sexual assault and all that, and saying that this nigga just threatened my life. So I just was like, you a grown ass man, you an adult. We ain't even gonna put man or male into it. You an adult. You with a spouse and kids. You would think these people know how to handle shit. This is why, just because you a parent or you a spouse, these motherfuckers don't know what the fuck they doing. They just existing and just doing stuff. Because in my head, I would think you would be able to hone in these skills, or just the duration of being in these experiences, you develop better skills. That's what in my brain, because I'm thinking of just trying to prepare myself better, even before I get in these situations. I'm thinking about, because I was once a kid and I've had relationships, so I'm thinking about these things. So I want to be a better parent. If I'm gonna be a spouse, blah blah blah. I'm like, why would you ever respond like that? Yes, I did say that in the text message in the beginning. So, but you didn't give me enough time, and I was gonna call and talk to him and tell him about it. But if your first thing to do is try to jump to his defense, and it gets worse because the second oldest brother, his wife was kind of, they both of them are like pretty much trying to defend my oldest brother. Mind you, he's a PDF PDF file, and then you threatening my life. They're going into protection mode. So after thinking about it over, it's been like a year and change, almost 2 years, pretty much 2 years. I'm just thinking, I get it. I'm y'all enemy for whatever reason. I'm y'all enemy when I try to help y'all. But what would make 2 adults One's in the legal field. She's a family law. And why would they like? What would make them jump to his defense without talking to me? Mind you, my brother could have just, hey man, call me. He could have just simply just, hey, call me. He did try to call me. Give him that benefit of the doubt. He did try. My second oldest brother did try to call me, but I was asleep. But why not just wait to have the phone call versus just flying off the handle and shit, saying I'm making assumptions, I'm being paranoid, I'm making up stuff. So fast forward. So yeah, like I said, the wife and the husband, they're like defending him. They're pretty much going to his defense. They're trying to get in defense mode, pretty much preparing. Mind you, she's a family law. She's practiced family law and shit. So I'm thinking like, damn, what would make them do that unless they own that type of time? They're okay with their co-signers. Mind you, they got 2 kids, 2 young kids. Pretty much, it's now at the time it was 4. It was 3. I had 3 nieces and 1 nephew. Now it's 2 nephews and 3 nieces now. But at the time it was just 4. So I'm just thinking, man, y'all. I just said this dude has PDF ways or pedophile ways. Y'all first think it's to jump to his protection and his defense. So in my head, I'm like, man, maybe y'all are doing that type of stuff too. Y'all protecting people like this, and do y'all participate in that? Like, that's what I'm thinking in my head, because what would make a rational parent or rational adult, when you had the option of getting the information and get the details straight, but by this point, time had passed, months had passed. Me and my brothers ain't talking. So like I say, I'm kind of thinking maybe the second oldest brother and his wife, maybe they participate in some PDF stuff, because why else would you be protecting this guy? So this is what I'm still thinking this to this day. And I'm just thinking like, man, dang, you got a son. So I'm thinking to my second oldest brother, like, bro, you got a son. Because at one point when they had their first kid, they had the first, and I do kind of feel like I got robbed of, spending time with like my nieces and nephews too, because of all this bullshit. I feel like I got robbed of that. Like, I was never able to develop any kind of like real relationship with them. But, y'all have kids. You would think they would kind of like try to hear the information, because when they had the oldest, my niece, my oldest niece, when they had her, she was the very first of all of us, of the 4 boys. None of us had kids. So I was just, this is my favorite brother. So him having a kid is like me having a kid. So I'm excited, I'm all, because it's like my kid. And that's how I'm viewing it. But this is my delusional, because I'm thinking like we tight as brothers. But this is exposing, all this situation is exposing me and my brother aren't as tight as I thought we were. And there's other details I ignored that I was delusional about too. But we're not as tight as I thought we were. And I'm like, damn, he don't really fuck with me like that. Like, all these things are exposing this to me. And there was other scenarios too that I'm about to speak about later. But, dang, man, my brother really don't fuck with me like that. Like, because why else would you jump to his defense without, you could just talk to me and get the information first versus just immediately going to his defense. So we're not talking for months and stuff like that. And eventually, I tell him, like, he kind of reached out to me a few times to try to talk on the phone. But before that happened, before me and him had this conversation, I get wind that him and his wife are having a phone conversation with somebody. And the wife, so the second oldest brother, his wife, she's plotting to, mind you, when you come into the military, a lot of people, how we're thinking, we're trying to figure out how can we do 20 years and retire in the military. So I want to do 20 years. So his wife, because I'm not, I guess my mom, she's really annoying. Just like she annoyed me for like 2-3 weeks straight. She called me multiple times in 1 hour for a 9 to 5 shift. She was doing this. And, hour by hour she's doing this. So with the wife, the second oldest brother wife, and obviously I'm not using names on purpose. I'm saying this at the end, but obviously I'm not using names on purpose. The second oldest brother wife, she's plotting to figure out a way to sabotage my military career. She's plotting to, and she's trying to allege a lie of elderly abuse, which is a felony. You can go to jail for years for that shit. You can go to prison for that. So she's plotting ways to her scare tactic, and or if no, it is a scare tactic, and if she had proof, she would execute on this. But she's trying to figure out a way how to lie and make this true. It's a complete lie. She wants to allege elderly abuse, which is a felony, prison time, and she wants to get in contact with my commander and give that information to him. So I'm like, damn. All this because I'm not doing what y'all say, because all of them are adamant about give my house back, blah, blah, blah. Mind you, we had already, I don't know what's wrong with these people. We had made a deal, so this bitch trying to sabotage my life, sabotage my military career, and trying to put me in jail, all over a lie that she just want to make up. She just want to pull this out of her ass, because keep in mind, she's saying elderly abuse because I'm not giving the house possession and the deed back over to my mom, just because she say so. Mind you, I already took a sacrifice with doing this, because she kind of, when my mom was kind of calling me on that, it kind of sabotaged the deal, and I kind of took an L. There's my credit deal, my money was depleted because things didn't really work out. I'm being distracted and pulled in different ways. I stressed myself too thin with that, but I was fine. I would have been okay. Well, I believe, I didn't get a chance to find this out, but I believe I would have been okay without my mother being a distraction. So the wife of the second oldest brother, she's trying to sabotage my military career. I'm trying to figure out how can I do 20 years in the military and then retire. And you want to allege a felony. I'm like, damn. All this because my mom is annoying them. This is all because my mama annoying them, and I'm not doing what they say do, and they're not getting in their way. So now you want to mess up my career and put me in prison for some shit that's completely false. So I give you a caveat for, I don't know why you don't like me, but I know my brother pretty much tell you everything. He pussy whoop. So I give you this caveat for a reason to be mad at me. And it's not really a reason to be mad at me. Well, you could take this out. A lot of women will be mad at me for this. So he probably told her this, but if he didn't, I'm telling you now. The reason why, I ain't gonna say the reason. And this is part of, it was one time years before all of this happened. Well, pretty much, when Jaji, if you see this, you have to forgive me. When you're in your 20s and 30s, you have to forgive me. But I don't even know if they still, I don't even talk to y'all so long, I don't know if they still call you Jaji. But you have to forgive me when you get older. You'll see where I'm coming from. I still got love for you. If you don't fuck with me, I understand. But to the second oldest brother's wife, the reason, it was years before all of this craziness happened, I had told my brother when Jaji was finna be born, I was like, man, I strongly recommend, like, bro, you probably want to get a DNA test, man, just in case, because, I talk to similar girls, so if I didn't say this as an example, but if I talk to similar girls, if I have 10 kids, they all gonna start looking alike. And then how when they say when you with somebody for a long time or close proximity, they even say this with dogs. They even say your dog start looking like you. It's a dog. Obviously, there's no DNA there. So I just mentioned to my brother, like, man, you probably should get a DNA test. I was strongly adamant about that, but he wasn't fucking with it. So like a day or two later, like I said, this was years before I even got the house in my possession. So I forgot how old Jaji is, but basically I was telling him that. And maybe a day or two later, he called me back. I remember this very vividly. I was in Louisiana, delivering at the sugar factory. It was like a sugar plant or something like that. He called me. He was pissed. Man, do you not like my wife? Do you not, And I'm like, damn. I'm like, it was other conversations we've had, obviously, but I guess that was a straw that broke his back. He thought I didn't like her. It's not like I don't like her, but I just think it's a good idea for you to get a DNA test on. He brought that up, like, yeah, man, they my kids, he just pissed. I'm not wrong for saying it, I was just wrong for saying it to the wrong person. So I could tell with how his energy, I'm like, damn, if I was next to him, this nigga would fight me. Like, for real, like, he dead, he'd be fighting me right now. So I was like, okay, I feel bad about that. I don't want no problems with my brother. So I just gave him a sincere apology. Hey, I'm sorry for saying that. I apologize to him. Hey, I'm sorry for saying that, blah, blah, blah. You know, because I don't want to beef with my brother over that. I guess it's not my place to say anything. And I thought, once again, my delusion, I thought we were closer than we actually are. So, he checked me on that shit. I lied. He got me. I mean, I don't want no problems. Like, that's his kid. So, because that don't mean nothing if somebody married or not. There's plenty of scenarios where somebody think one thing and it's not that. Married or just baby mama. So, let's be adults about this. So, yeah, that was that. I apologized to him about that. And we was cool. So, that's just to give her something. If she really want to be mad at me or have a real problem with me, that could be for her if she wants to. I don't know. I don't really care at this point. But, so, yeah, that was that. My brother, he was... Yeah, so fast forward back to when we fell out. I was like, hey, well, I got wind of her plotting on the phone of how to sabotage my military career and lie about that, lie on me about that elderly abuse thing. And I'm just thinking, she's trying to claim elderly abuse, and I'm like, I guess she's trying to say I'm manipulating my mom and all this stuff. But think about this. When I was adamantly trying to push my mom to do the deal with her and my brother, she wouldn't do it. But I just asked her, like, hey, what was the deal again? I would take that deal. She was like, okay, cool. It was easy to do that deal with her. So if I was doing elderly abuse, she would have did that deal with you and your husband. If I was manipulating her or harming her or whatever, or just had that much, if I had that much influence over her, she would have did that deal with you all. She don't listen to me. She just wanted to do that deal with one of her sons, and since her favorite, she couldn't do that deal with her favorite. She picked me, but she didn't. I was never treated like anything close to the favorite. If anything, by experience, she treated me like the worst. So I couldn't understand why she was doing the deal with me. Well, I bet. I guess because she thought because I'm a trucker, I'm a multi-billionaire because I'm a trucker. That's how she think it. So, but I guess she just did the deal because I was the second or third best choice. So that's why she did the deal. As far as I know, I don't really know. I didn't really get all those. I think I might have asked her once why she did it with me, but yeah. So saying all that to say, his wife is actively trying to. I'm like, what's wrong with this lady? And you in your career, like, I'm like, damn, man. Listen, if your employers and your whoever see you or the people you work with, they see you and they fire you for this, I mean, you deserve it because you want to throw an innocent man in jail, you want to make up stuff, and then you want to harm my career. So thankfully, and so I wanted to put this video out maybe pretty much within, I guess, 6 months after all this stuff pretty much happened. But I had to wait and get some things squared away before I did that. I had to pretty much protect myself. I had to protect myself before I spoke on this because if somebody's moving, like, you got one person that's want to kill me and then another person trying to throw me in jail and harm my military career, I mean, of course I'm going to just dial it back. Like, why wouldn't I? Like, come on. But that's pretty much, I want to say that's pretty much it in a nutshell. We talked, me and the second oldest brother, we talked after that maybe a year ago. And mind you, since I have the text message and screenshots from where he talking, reckless in the text message saying I'm being paranoid and I'm making up stuff. So I'm thinking like, hey, well, since you speaking wild, I don't know if you're gonna really talk rational on the phone because the last one or two conversations we had, you wasn't talking really rational. So I'm gonna just say, hey, well, if you can apologize through text message, we can get on the phone and talk because you talk. The problem was started, it went left through text message. So I want to know if you're on the right page from a text message with the apology, and then we can talk. So we got on the phone. He don't even know what the problem is. He don't mind you. He can see his text messages if he chooses to. He's choosing. I don't know what's going on. So we on the phone. I'm addressing him about the stuff he's saying or the accusations of when I put out something of a life experience I had been through. You would think he could understand and he has a kid, and he has a son. But I kind of blame myself because, like I say, we all four of us grew up in the same house, but had four different experiences, and I shielded my second oldest brother from that knowledge. So his world, he grew up in like a perfect, not even gonna say perfect, but he had a better fairy tale. He was shielded. I shielded him from that information of knowing that I was assaulted by the oldest brother. So he don't know about it. So he think everything juices and berries and fairies and all this other BS. But I'm just thinking, like, bro, you got a kid. You got two kids. And when they had their first one, I think I mentioned this before, but when they had their first kid, I kind of mentioned to them, hey, man, it's just you and your wife now. Because I wasn't comfortable talking about, but I was trying to hint at, like, man, don't really let people, watch your kids because, but it's just you and your wife now. It's just y'all two, man. Y'all, I was trying to hint at it, but I couldn't say it because I wasn't at that. I wasn't comfortable talking about it yet. So I say all that to say, so we got on the phone. We talking. I'm like, calling him out for shit and all this other stuff. We kind of going back and forth. But at some point in the conversation, I realized, like, because he kind of bucking up at me a little bit. And it's stuff that you just wrong or he just trying to dismiss. And I'm like, something off. And I was like, damn, does he have me on speakerphone with her? Because I'm saying stuff that, like, yeah, if I'm saying this stuff around your wife. Now, me and two brothers can talk it out and I can say this stuff with me and him. Or just in general how it goes. But if your wife there, you're going to try to buck up a little bit. And that was what it was like, damn, is this wife listening to this phone call? And it's like, what? I'm thinking this in my head. I'm like, why your wife listening to our phone call? We should be able to talk private. So I'm just like, and mind you, she's a family law. She's a lawyer. She's a family law and all this stuff. So I'm like, is there some type of legal shit that they got going on? Is she trying to, like, what is... So something was telling me, my gut feeling was telling me, like, yeah, she's listening to this phone call. So I'm like, damn, nigga, you got your wife listening to this phone call. So basically, it's a lot of stuff a lot of details I left out. So to kind of bring it full circle to clear it up of, me addressing the sexual assault, and then my second oldest brother just saying I'm paranoid, I'm lying, I'm making up stuff. I didn't mention how when I already had the possession of the house, I approached my second oldest brother twice about, like, hey man, well, I got access to these trucks. If you can help me out, we can do 50-50 and I'm taking all of the risks, so if it goes bad, then you don't have to worry about nothing. Just help me out, you be the administration side. He tried to help me a little bit. He found like drivers and stuff, but it never worked out. So on two separate occasions, I approached him about getting into trucking with me. And I believe this was before COVID. I want to say either once before COVID and maybe once during COVID. And then after that, I just said, all right, it didn't work out. I'm not going to ask him anymore. It's dead in the water. Mind you, that's when I had good credit. I'm in the high 600s, and one of the credit scores was like in the 700s. I approached him twice about it. He tried to help a little bit, but you can just tell he wasn't really in it like that. So then I was like, I ain't answering him no more. It just didn't work out. I guess he got wind of a friend or his wife friend. They got like trucks and stuff, and he, hearing about it, I guess he got re-inspired. I don't know. He approached me, hey man, yeah, what's up with this trucking stuff again? So I'm like, hey, well look, of course I want to do business with my brother because we went to the same high school together, we played on the same football team together, we went to the same college together. This is my favorite brother. So we, of course I would love to do business. I'm beyond eager, I'm overzealous to do business with him because this is my favorite brother. So I'm like, okay, of course I'll do it. But I'm still hesitant about it because, like, when I had all of the risks, if it goes well, you just reap the rewards for being a good administration side of the business relating to trucking. Now I said, hey, look, well, here's the thing. When I approached you those 2 times, I was up. You didn't have to take none of the risks. But now, okay, if you want to do it, of course I'm with it. I would love to do business with you, but you got to understand. My credit is shit because of the whole scenario with my mom in the house, and it didn't work out. I was stressed in with my money and all that. So my credit is shit now. and I don't have the money like I had. So mind you, the 2 times when I asked, I was up, my money was up, and my credit was up. Now that you approaching me, I said, look, my money ain't there and my credit ain't there, so I can't help you unless we can. When you get the truck, we gotta ride out for like at least 2 months, 2 to 3 months, and my money will recoup enough to where I can help you, and I can be fixing my credit at the same time, and I will have the house in my possession. So what? And that's other money we can access if we need to. So I was like, hey, I can't help you right now, but for these first 2 or 3 months. But if we can, I got you. It was a no-brainer. He was approved for the credit. For the truck. He got approved for the truck because he had good credit. And he used, I guess some of the money might come from his like 401k or whatever. He's really good with money. He's very, he can be frugal at times, but he's really responsible with money from my experience with him. So he's very good with money. So I'm not good with money. I can make a lot of money, but I'm not necessarily save a lot and responsible with it in that manner. I know how to get the money, but I ain't really good at saving. So if he's on the administration side, we up because we both come with different skill sets that can advance everything. He got approved for a truck that I wanted, $50,000 truck. I wanted that truck. That was the first truck. He found the truck. I said, yeah, man, this is a good truck. Only thing that needs to be fixed on it is, and it was an automatic versus a stick shift. The only thing that needs to be fixed is the seat cushion, which is an easy, quick fix. So it's a good truck. You got approved for it. I think you should go with this truck. I checked. I did the pre-trip, and everything was good about it. So then I'm in Medellin. I'm in Colombia, and I'm wanting to quit my job. Now, mind you, from my end, part of the reason why I wasn't approved the first time with the house for the refinance, I'm in the same industry for like 7 years or more, pretty much. So I'm in the same industry, but I was just switching jobs in that industry, so that didn't look good. So, and that hurts you in the industry too, as far as getting a good job. So basically, I'm at a job to where it's just terrible. I'm not happy with it, and it's like being at a terrible job or doing business with your brother, your favorite brother that you would love to do business with. Come on, this is a no-brainer. So I'm in Medellin. I'm like, all right. So I said, hey, if we're gonna do this, all right, I'm gonna go ahead and take my trip, and then we're gonna get rolling because it's gonna take you like a week or two, however long it's gonna take to get the ball rolling. So I'm in Medellin. Kind of find out he's switching trucks, and he found a good company too. So mind you, he did all of the hard work. He had good credit. He used it, whether he's using from his 401k or whatever, his savings. So the trucking side is good. He found a good company. The company was gonna pay us like $10,000 a week. Because typically when you talk to them, they'll tell you like, well, what's the range of the earnings per week? I guess the guy had such a good account. He was like, yeah, y'all make maybe 6,000 to 8,000. But I was like, well, I have my hazmat. He's like, oh yeah, y'all gonna make like 10,000. I bet. He found them people too. So he did all of the hard work. Everything, he did all of the hard work and made everything. I couldn't understand. So mind you, they had like a Russian accent or whatever. So mind you, he didn't want to do business with them. I was like, why you don't want to do it? He's like, man, I can't understand the accent. I said, hey, well, I've been dealing with these people for the last 3 or 4 years. I'm used to them. Let me handle it. Let me play my position. Let me talk to them. Let me handle it. Because I believe this is true. Typically, when you ask them people, they'll tell you how much you're going to make per week, and it's fairly accurate. It's pretty accurate for what they say. I say, how much is the truck going to make per week? It's pretty accurate. So he said, we're going to make $10K a week. Damn. So he pretty much was adamant about, because his coworker had like 2 or 3 trucks with another company. They was making like $2,500 to $3,000 a week. And I'm like, well, in my head, I'm like, well, at the time I didn't say this because I didn't think to articulate. I couldn't articulate this at the time. I couldn't express it right. But if your coworker is taking lunch breaks and 15-minute breaks or whatever to go outside and call and check on the trucks. So apparently he's not making enough money. Yeah, he got 2 or 3 trucks on the road, but he's doing it wrong. He somehow he was able to get that money because he probably still savings, probably saved right. He probably took, had good credit, blah blah blah. But if he has to go outside on lunch breaks and stuff like that, on breaks, and call and check on the trucks and facilitate X, Y, and Z, he ain't making enough money. But with one truck, we're gonna make way more than what he making with 3 trucks. Is this even a conversation? So I'm telling like, man, look, I think we should go with this company making $10K a week. I believe them, and if they're not telling the truth, we can just go with your coworker's company. Does he listen to his little brother? No, because the little brother don't know shit. The little brother ain't never did 1 day in trucking. It ain't like he did 7 to 5 years in trucking. He probably doesn't have any experience. Who knows? His brother doesn't know anything. He knows more than his brother. And his brother been driving for 5 to 7 years at that time. So I'm like, all right, well, I'm like, hey, he's a shot caller. Because mind you, and it was clear to me that's what he always wanted. He power tripping, and he money, not money hungry, but power tripping. He just want to control everything. He can't see the big picture. He wants to control everything. So I'm like, hey man, you ain't listening to the better advice. It is what it is. So they kept calling because I'm pretty sure they had a good account and they just needed X amount of trucks to satisfy that account. So we fumbled that deal. I said, he basically was like, yeah man, this dude keep calling me, I don't know how to tell him. All right, let me just tell him, hey, I just let him do it. Hey, sorry, right now, just give us some time to think about it. We're trying to kind of weigh out our options. So pretty much that was a wrap because the dude was ready to roll. He was ready to roll around, he was ready to go. And we fumbled the deal. So that was out the window. And then so part of me was starting to think, because I was in, Medellin at the time, because I'm, just taking a quick vacation, because I'm like thinking, like, man, if I'm working hard for these Russians and these European people, if I'm working hard, busting my butt, making a lot of money, I'm going to make my brother a lot of money. I already know what to do. I know how to make these people money, so let me make my brother some money. This is how I'm thinking. Mind you, 50-50 on the show, but even if I get screwed out of the deal, my brother's still winning because I'm still making him a lot of money. This is how I'm approaching it. Because like I said, I would rather make my brother some money than make Russians and European people, because for the people who know, in Chicago, it's a lot of like European and Russian companies and stuff like that. So part of me was starting to think like, okay, it kind of seemed like you're kind of sabotaging this a little bit. Kind of all right, whatever. Then when it came to the truck, he got approved for the $50,000 truck that I wanted because it was way more comfortable. Like I said, I'm going to make him a lot of money. You got to take care of your driver so your driver can take care of you. He didn't want to listen to me on the truck. He found another truck. I think he found the other company and the truck while I was on vacation in Medellin, Colombia. So I'm like, all right, well, I'm going to go check it out when I get back. I get back. The truck is like $31,000 or something like that. It's a stick shift. It's old. It's stank. It's sticky. It's sticky. And then they tell me, and I told him this too. They tell me they had to jump the truck. So the other truck, the $50,000 truck, I just crank it up and I could drive it. They told me they had to jump the truck to get it started. They had to put the battery jump on there. So I told my brother this. So I told him, I said, okay, I get it. You want to get the cheaper truck, I like, before you get this truck, I'll check it out. It's okay, it's cool. I mean, I prefer the $50,000 truck, but mind you, it's your money. I can't make him do anything. So, all right, well, I'm going to just take the L because I'm not up. I don't got no money. I don't got the money for this. I don't got the credit for this. So, I don't really got no say-so, and he's still flexing his power over me. So, I'm not even going to fight him on this. All right, as long as you know, and I kept reminding him, like, I can't help you unless we get this truck on the road for 2 or 3 months. Then I got you, cause I don't got no bread right now. Like I just spent, I'm irresponsible when it comes to that. So I'm like, okay. So I was like, hey, I told him 2 to 3 different occasions before you get this $31,000 truck. come check it out before you buy it. Did he listen? Fuck no, he didn't listen. So all right, well, here goes nothing. I mean, I just hope. I don't know why you would put yourself on a hook like this, but so it got to the point where I'm like, is he trying to sabotage this deal because he trying to have things go, go downhill so I can like give? This is what I'm thinking. Like, is he like plotting so that I'll give the house back over to mom? Because I guess he ain't realizing I can get a job with trucking. You can get a job literally at the snap of your fingers. You can get a job easily if you got a little bit of experience and no accidents. So I'm like, man, is he trying to sabotage this on purpose or something? Like, what is he doing? Like, why? Something not making sense. Why would you not take $10,000 a week and then a reliable truck for $50,000 versus, $31,000 truck? I'm like, something's not making sense. I'm like, damn, I think he might be low key trying to sabotage it just so he can try to get the house or something. That's the only logical thing I can think of. Like, because he can't be this dumb. Like, you can't be this stupid to say no to $10,000 a week. So I'm like, okay, we got that truck, the $30,000 truck. That truck didn't even last 7 days. It was like 5 days and that bitch broke down on a mountain. I'm like, dang. So mind you, I ain't got no money to help him. I'm barely on because I know how to calculate my money. It's just bad to do. Obviously, this is bad to do, but I know how to calculate my money to where I can still take a trip or stuff like that because I know how to get the money back. So I'm like, but I'm not getting no money with you because you're doing something that don't make sense. Why would you get an unreliable truck and you go with an unreliable company? I'm like, damn. The only thing that makes sense is he's purposely trying to sabotage this. I guess he just maybe want me to get a house back. But I'm like, shit, you got the wrong idea. But that's the only thing that made sense to me. But saying all that, after the shit went left, after 4 or 5 days, the truck breakdown, he was like, man, insert his wife's name. So, man, I should have told, I'm going to just say Peggy. Man, I should have told Peggy, I should have talked to her first. And I'm like, it was a good deal. You did all the hard work. It was a layup. You did all the hard work with the credit and the money and finding the companies. He did all the hard work. And why would you fumble it like that? And it's like, you didn't listen to me, you listened to your coworker, and I get it, okay. Your coworker got 3 trucks, I don't have any trucks. But he's still not equating. Yeah, he got access to trucks, but if you got 3 trucks on the road and he still gotta work there, because if you're making $10K a week, that's big money. $10K a week. And if you had 3 trucks making $10K, you're probably good. But your coworker only making $2,000 a week, $3,000 a week. One blown tire or one maintenance thing, that shit can crumble. But so basically, I like, yeah, man, I don't know, this dude like purposely trying to sabotage me or some jealousy. I don't know what's up. That's pretty much what I conclude with it. Well, like I say, so when we got on the phone, I'm addressing X, Y, and Z. I feel like I'm disrespected. I'm like, damn, man, you got kids that could be sexually assaulted by your oldest brother, and you kind of like dismissing me like I ain't shit. I'm like, this ain't making no kind of sense. Unless you on that type of pedophile stuff too. That's the only thing that would make sense to me. And then I addressed, because he had wrote in the message, or one of our phone calls, he mentioned, or part of us falling out, he mentioned how when the trucking scenario didn't work out, he mentioned how I didn't offer to pay him any money. But you knew before you made your horrible decisions, I told you I don't got no money for you until 2 or 3 months in because I don't have enough bread for that. I still got to make my payments to mom for the house and just my regular payments. I've been maneuvering successfully without him. With him, now you're sabotaging things. So it's like, I addressed how he mentioned I didn't offer to pay him any money when the truck broke down. I'm like, why would you even say some dumbass shit like that to me? Because I made it crystal clear, if we're gonna do this, you need to know where I stand. Because when I was trying to take all of the risks, you wouldn't do it. Like I said, he found some drivers and stuff, but nobody committed to doing it. So he wasn't able to successfully get people to get on board. But when you do it, I'm 100% got your back and I'm on board with you, but you fumbled a deal, a $10,000 a week, $10,000 a week. Think about that shit. And you telling me you telling me I didn't offer to pay you no money, and you picked a cheaper truck that was unreliable, and I told you that they had to jump it. And the reason why I told him to come see the truck, if you see this truck, you're gonna reconsider. Like when you see this truck sticky, it stank, you see that they had to jump it. I was trying if he just simply listened, but I don't know if it's jealousy because it's the younger brother. I don't know what it is. He just never really fucked with me like that. I don't know what it is, but if you just listen to your brother, I got your best interest at heart because I expect you to have my best interest at heart. So I'm watching your back. You're not letting me watch your back. You just doing whatever the fuck you want to do. And then I felt insulted. Like I say, when they all fumbled up, I should have told Peggy, man. I should have talked to Peggy about it. I'm like, if she was against this idea, that's because she doesn't want you to earn. Because I think she might have been earning more money with him by that time. So the only way she would be against this deal, just reasonably, just moderately reasonable. If your wife told you not to do it, you're making $10,000 a week with a $50,000 reliable truck. If she tell you not to do it, she's against you. She was gonna say the same stuff I said. If she didn't, that person's not on your side. Like that person's against you. So we talked on the phone. Like I say, I addressed those things, but it felt like she was sitting there listening to the conversation. I was just like, man, I don't know what's up with. I'm like, this, if a family like this, who needs enemies? Pretty much was my conclusion. Like between, and so pretty much I got to the point where I don't trust none of them three because keep in mind in the beginning I say if all three of them were in a positive direction, then all three of them adamantly were against me all of a sudden with no real reason. And then one of them threatened my life, the same PDF sexual assault person, the rapist dude. If they all three of them are singing the same tune, I'm thinking all of them against me, they all may try to do harm to me. Because if one is vocalizing this, I'm thinking all of them are on that type of time. So that pretty much summed it up. That's pretty much it in a nutshell. I know this is a long video, so forgive me. I think I kind of covered everything. Yeah, I mean, maybe I'll maybe I'll do another part on it, but I wanted to kind of address that to protect myself and protect another person too at the same time, just in case, you never know, but it's sad it had to go this way. I think I covered everything. Yeah, I mean, I would have addressed this earlier, sooner, but I had to pretty much protect myself to make sure. Well, one, it's lonely. I ain't gonna lie, it hurts when it's all this stuff. God, it hurts. It's lonely. It's sad that it has to be like this, but this is the world we live in. It's oh man. So much for that. And then it's black people. So much for that. I remember in college I started something called Keeping Black Money Black. I started this. It's just pretty much like a saying, a slogan, or whatever you want to call it. But I just turned it into an LLC in business. And that's something else to speak about. I want to do business with my brother since 2012 because I realized I knew none of us want to work. I was like, man, working long term, that 20-year, 30-year and retired don't exist anymore. I knew that back in 2012. So that's why I started thinking, let me start thinking in the business mindset because I already knew the writing was on the wall, so that's why I was trying to get ahead of it. Trying to convince him too, so eventually he came around because he in that final time when he approached me the third time, that's when he realized like, oh well, he pretty much knew he didn't want to work the rest of his life. He wanted to be able to retire and be able to live decently. So that's why he finally started thinking business. So that's what 2023 basically. But mind you, I've been wanting and eager to do business with him since 2012, 2023, 2012. You finally figured it out, but then you still fumbled it. I'm like, how do you fumble such a It was a layup. It was too easy. I'm done, man.